What is popping, y'all? It's your man Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly. Today's episode, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 players going into this Milwaukee Brewers season. Cactus League, everybody officially is already there, but obviously the report date is tomorrow because their first Cactus League game is less than a week. And like it or not, I am very excited this is a season that I think I don't really have many expectations, but I am optimistic to see how they actually do in these situations. With that being said, I am obviously going to go over my top 10 players going into this season. If you like what you see, subscribe below, comment what your thoughts, and let's get down to business. Let's start with an honorable mention. My honorable mention is Garrett Mitchell. Obviously, the reason why I don't have him in my top 10 is because, I'm optimistic for him, but he has not been present with the Brewers for a full season. At the end of the 2022 season, obviously played the last month and showed some flashes of potential. Then the first couple weeks of the 2023 season came out and really showed some flashes of potential, and then he had that basically season-ending injury with that dislocated shoulder. But obviously we get a healthy Garrett Mitchell back, and from what I've seen in those games that he's played, he definitely shows that he can really be a game changer when healthy. So I can't really wait to see what happens with Garrett Mitchell and how they include him in the future, because it's going to be really excellent just to see what happens with him. I was a fan of him from the start. A couple walk-offs, already, and it's limited time, but this guy is definitely going to really show what he can be in his arsenal, and I just can't wait to see what he does. I hope his role is obviously going to be bigger than what it is with these people coming in, but we'll see. All right, number 10 spot. At the number 10 spot, I'm going to say DL Hall is at my number 10 spot. DL Hall was obviously included in the Corbin Burnes trade, and there really isn't much to say about him. He's not a full-time starter. Baltimore used him as a guy with multiple innings of experience, and he posted, I think, a 3-0 record with a really good ERA and some other things like that. Also was huge for the Baltimore Orioles in the playoffs, had really done a lot for them. He really came in through a lot of innings and was able to get Baltimore on a good run, even though they obviously ended up losing to the Texas Rangers, but he was a huge a part of their bullpen. When we traded Corbin Burnes, we got a guy that has the potential to be a starting ace for the Brewers. I don't know if he will be as good as I anticipate, but the potential that this guy has for a lefty pitcher, there are some control issues, but he reminds me of another lefty pitcher that we ended up getting that had some control issues, but worked on them and became one of the best closers in the history of baseball. I'm talking about Josh Hader. Obviously, DL Hall, the only difference is they think that this guy's going to be a starter. Wherever they put him, starter, bullpen, I'm really excited to see what he brings, because some of his pitches that he has thrown and I have seen are just nasty. But we'll see. It's very exciting to see what DL Hall can bring to this Brewers arsenal. At the number 9 spot, I'm going to go a little bit out of the way on this one. I'm going to say that Abner Uribe is at the number 9 spot. And Abner Uribe was somebody that came up from the minor league system from the Brewers. He was obviously battled his way through some injuries, back when he was trying to work his way up. But this guy, the stuff that he throws 100-mile-an-hour pitches crazy at a crazy rate. This guy has the potential to be our next closer, and he honestly could be our next closer in the coming years. The stuff that guy throws is just insane, and I can't really wait to see how he really does this year, because he posted, I think, the best ERA out of everyone. I think he was in the single-digit ERA, the single-digit ERAs for quite some time. But, there's some control issues that I have noticed come out of him. But deep down, if he works on those control issues, he has potential to be another a closer for the Brewers that, is phenomenal. I mean, they had Hader, then they have Williams, and when they obviously move on from Williams, or if they move on from Williams, that will be Abner Uribe, which is really crazy to me. Because, one, you never know. I mean, they could move on from Williams in a trade this year. I don't know. It could happen, but I don't see it happening. At the number 8 spot, I think it's the safe space to put Jackson Chourio. A lot of people could put him a lot higher, but because this guy has not even had one at-bat in the major leagues yet, only at 20 years old this year, he's so young, I just don't want to sit there and put all this hype into him. But am I excited for what he can bring to this Brewers team? Yes. Have I seen the stuff that he's done? Have I known these records that he was breaking in Double-A all last year? This guy is really turning heads. That's why he is the number 2 prospect in all of baseball right now. I can't wait to see, eventually I believe that he will be on the starting opening day roster this year. He will be starting at center field pretty much the entirety of the season. I hope he really is that guy. They're really hyping him up, and I think he is going to be fantastic this season, but we'll see. I mean, things will pan out, and in time, I think he'll turn out to be great. At the number 7 spot, I have Rhys Hoskins, and I could have put him a lot higher, but because obviously of him missing an entire year due to an injury, obviously he could be a little bit slow at the start of the season, but I think he'll go back into it, and he'll be back to that form that he once had. He was phenomenal in the postseason for the Phillies 2 years ago when they had their World Series run. That bat slam in that playoff game was just epic. He's had some great moments for the Philadelphia Phillies in their last couple years of their runs in the playoffs, but now having him as a member of the Brewers is a really big deal. We needed a first baseman, and we got him on a 1-year deal for cheap. I think he could hopefully help the Brewers in any way possible. I'm not saying he's going to be phenomenal right off the bat because of that injury, but you never know. He could definitely be a huge key player for this Brewers organization. All right, at the number 6 spot, was thinking about this one for a little bit, and then I wanted to put down Willy Adames right here. And I know that's, when you think about it, it's like, wow, you really put Willy low. But when you think about it, it's because Willy Adames has just been, he's been a little slow, Willy has just, he's just a guy that his batting average has been it's been very low these last couple of years. He came out in the Brewers when he got traded from the Tampa Bay Rays to the Brewers. His batting average was great. He was doing everything. And then ever since he's been on the Brewers, he's just been trying to focus on hitting the long balls and the home runs. And he hasn't really done as much as I thought he would. And I really hope that, his game gets a lot better. But obviously another reason why I have him low is because everybody anticipates he's getting traded, including me. And you know what? Even though if he's a game player for us this year, it'd be great. We will see what happens with Adames this season. I just hope he just doesn't fall real hard into the point where it's like we don't even need him on the team anymore. This is his final year of his contract, so we will see what happens. At the number 5 spot, we're going to put Sal Frelick, a guy that I've been really hyped up about. Guy comes in there and has the greatest debut in probably for a player in MLB history, going 3 of 3 from the field, 2 unbelievable wall catches on the same inning, literally almost back to back, and then a game win and the game-winning RBI, which is insane. Which was the go-ahead run. I could not believe what he shows. He can hit with power. He's fast. I think he'll be a Gold Glove. And then they're actually he making him play infield because of his height being, 5'10". He's a lot shorter than a lot of the outfielders there are, but he's learning how to play infield positions now as well. So likely second base, third base. If this is the case, I mean, this guy could totally be a game changer for the Brewers. And that means we can actually start him in the outfield at times and him in the infield at times, knowing that if he is a great player as I'm anticipating him to be, him starting in the infield with the outfield that we have in Yelich, Chourio, and Mitchell, and even Weimer, having a guy like him decide to do this makes me really excited to see what he brings to this team in the future. And I'm excited for him. At the number 4 spot, I feel like we'll put Freddie Peralta here. He's really going to be hyped up this season. I actually predict he'll finish. I think he'll be a finalist for Cy Young this season. I think he's going to have the best season of his career. He's really going to show how good of a player he is. I think he has so much pressure, but I think over the years he's gotten better and better. Hopefully he's healthy all this season, and he can really be that player. I predict he's going to get like a 3.30 ERA with a good winning percentage, and he's going to be the real reason why the Brewers win a big percentage of games this season. At the number 3 spot, I feel like we'll be fair and we'll put Christian Yelich here. Normally you'd have him at the number 1, but obviously the last couple of years have been absolutely terrible to watch. Last year was definitely an improvement, but do I think he's going to be that guy and he's going to go back to what he was? Never. I think this is actually going to be a down year for Yelich, but I'm anticipated to see how he does because everyone's talking about these rookies, and everybody keeps forgetting about that Yelich is still part of this team. At the number 2 spot, we'll go with William Contreras. Obviously, I think he is going to be the most important player on the offense this season. Last year, he had, I believe, the best batting average. I think he'll be an all-star this season. I can't wait to see what William Contreras does for this organization. He really is starting to turn heads, and I think he's going to have an over 300 batting average. He's going to hit some home runs and stuff, and I think he's going to make the all-star team. I hope he does. His projection is just going upward from here out. And easily at the number 1 spot, obviously because he's been on the all-star game a multitude of times. He is obviously the reigning NL reliever of the year. And, he's won all the awards. I mean, you can't not say that it's Devin Williams. We'll see what happens with him this season. Hopefully he continues his success down the line. I can't wait to see what goes on for the Brewers. And obviously, if you liked this video, comment below, subscribe your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time. Go Brewers!